Welcome back to another video. I hope you're all keeping safe and well. Another win for Tottenham Hotspur in the Premier League. Tottenham Hotspur 4, Crystal Palace 1. Heung-min, Son and Harry Kane breaking yet another record. Gareth Bale on fire. Harry Kane scoring a worldie. Tottenham have now scored 100 goals in all competitions so far this season. 3 straight wins in the Premier League. 4 straight wins in all competitions. Antony, let's come to you. I've got 3 very special guests tonight. Antony Costa, Josh and David from the Irish Hotspur. Antony, let's come to you first. Surely you must have been very happy with that win last night.
I was absolutely buzzing. Good evening, everyone. I was absolutely buzzing, boys. I thought we played fantastically. Bit shaky, like the last sort of 10 minutes of the first half because of certain players that I won't name. But anyway, I just thought we held our own. We played some attacking football, as we know. Bale, Kane, Sonny as well, who looked a bit leggy. He looked a bit tired, by the way. But listen, all credit to Lucas Moura. I thought he played really, really well last night. And for me to say that is very, very hard. So, listen, hats off to you, Lucas. You've done really, really well, mate. And long may it continue.
Yeah, we will definitely speak more about Lucas Moura, Antony. Josh, let's come to you. What are your initial thoughts? You know, Tottenham Hotspur 4, Crystal Palace 1. We're in fine form right now.
Well, it was a great performance, wasn't it? It was lovely to watch, to be quite honest. It felt like a real pleasure to watch the boys. Instead of it in recent weeks, it's been a bit, well, before we got into form, it wasn't very nice. But amazing performance from Bale and Kane, and also Lucas, as Antony said. Wow. Like, as soon as Jose has put Lucas at centre attacking midfield, he has literally excelled so much. We've literally needed an attacking midfielder so badly in the past couple of months, and obviously Lucas is a winger, and he's been put there, and his drive, his creativity, his pace going forward, it just brings so much to our side. And we kind of demolished Palace, didn't we? It was a great performance all round. As we said the other week, the introduction of Sergio Reguilon again makes a huge difference, a completely huge difference to our sides. As we said, different fullbacks. Just, it was lovely to watch and a great win.
I can tell you're happy, Josh. I can tell you're happy. I spoke to you a couple of weeks ago. I spoke to you all a couple of weeks ago in the last few weeks. And, when those results, 5 defeats in 6, it was dreadful timed, and it's nice to see you all smiling. David, let's bring you in. Welcome back to the channel. Thanks for coming on again. Surely you must be very happy. You're always positive about Tottenham.
Yeah, no, I'm absolutely buzzing. Look, it's all you could ask for. We played attacking football. We exposed Palace at their will. Palace are known for sitting back, sitting 2 banks of 4 in there, shuffling side to side and closing up the gaps. We exposed them at will. Look, we switched off once. We got punished. It's the name of the game. But all in all, we're looking a lot better. Doherty's come in. He's looking a bit better. And we managed to rest on Dombele players like that. Kane is firing. Bale is firing. And most of all, people were saying that Jose couldn't play the Tottenham way. Well, that excuse is gone.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Well, Jose said we're in a positive moment. I was happy with the team's attitude. If the stats I was given are correct, 100 goals scored in this season, which for a very negative team is not bad. I love that quote. Antony, what have you made of Tottenham's 100 goals so far this season?
I just find it fascinating. I mean, I can't believe it, that stat, But listen, hats off. We've played some good football the last sort of 3-4 weeks. So, obviously the Fulham game weren't great, but we got the win. It's all about the 3 points. From February to the end of the season, I always call it the business end of the season, right?
Yeah.
So whatever we get in, whatever's thrown at us, as long as we're winning, I don't care. I am not bothered at this present time how we're playing football, whether it's 4-2-3-1, 4-3-3, 5-3-2. I don't care. I want them 3 points, because now, as I'm talking to you boys tonight, as you know, we're only 2 points off the top 4. Obviously, Chelsea unfortunately have just won, but
yeah, it's 5 points now.
Why can't we catch anyone? Why can't we challenge? Why? Of course we can. We've got to believe in ourselves now.
Antony, for you, what's happened in the last few weeks? Because, of course, like I said earlier, 5 defeats in 6 in the Premier League. Tottenham have now turned it around. We've had 4 wins on the trot. 4-0 against Wolfsburg, 4-0 against Burnley, 1-0 against Fulham, and now 4-1 against Crystal Palace. What's changed for you in these last few weeks? How has Jose Mourinho turned it around?
Gareth Bale.
Yeah.
That's it.
Simple as that.
I think so, Chris. I really do. I think we've seen it. He's come in, he's head and shoulders above everyone. Obviously not Kane and people like that. But what I'm trying to say is, when he gets that ball, you know something's going to happen. And I think I think we've got to give credit to Jose now. I'm going to go a bit off track here. But the way Jose has handled Gareth Bale, since he's arrived, has been brilliant. Okay? We wanted him, as we all know, being Spurs fans, Gareth Bale's got to play. But he wasn't right. Whether it be confidence, a couple of injuries, or whatever. He wasn't right. So the way Mourinho's helped him, psychologically, I've read lots of reports today. He's helped him. And now look at him. He's firing. I'd rather have an 80%, 90% fit Gareth Bale from now to the end of the season than wear him out from September to January and then we're buggered. With obviously a Kane injury and things like that. And I think, sorry there, Dave. And I think, we've got to give him credit because now Bale is finding form and long may it continue. Of course, I still want him to be at Spurs next season when all the fans are hopefully back. There's nothing better than seeing that bloke score for Spurs, obviously bar Kane. You see what I'm saying? So, listen, the way he's done it, brilliant. Hats off to you, mate. Sorry, Dave.
Can I just come in on what you were saying about Gareth Bale? It does actually have a large part to do with things because when it was just Son and Kane and we had nothing coming off the right-hand side, and you've seen it repeatedly in games that was coming a team where they were just leaving our right-hand side open. They didn't care because they knew whatever came over that side, nothing was coming of it. And what they were doing is pressing us in the middle and out towards the left-hand side. And once they stopped Son or Kane, they effectively stopped the two of them. But what Gareth Bale has done, and you've seen it yesterday, is because he's such a threat now, they're having to spread the defence out, which means we have a lot more space to play into, a lot more space to play in behind. Because ultimately, everyone's a threat across that front four. Everyone is a threat across that front four. So ultimately, it has been a massive part on why we're seeing a lot more attacking play and a lot more goals because the emergence of that right-hand side is producing now. So it's massive.
Josh, let's come to you. Let's talk about Tottenham's first goal against Crystal Palace last night. Of course, Gareth Bale got the tap in. Harry Kane got another assist in the Premier League. But for me, that goal was made by Lucas Moura, winning that ball back. High pressing. Lots of rotation in that front four. That first chance, first goal for Tottenham. Talk us through it, and how impressed were you?
Oh, I was so impressed, honestly, with Lucas. I said to my dad sitting next to me, I was like, go and win that ball, Lucas. Press up, high up the pitch. And he went and nicked it. I'm not sure what Palace player he nicked it off. But it was just so nice to see a Spurs player get in tight to a Palace player, nick the ball, and then obviously he went to Kane and a good assist to Bale. 13 assists from Kane this season in the Premier League. That is unbelievable from a striker. And if you're a football fan and you can't see or say that Harry Kane is the best striker in the world, then I don't know what's going through your head, because he clearly is, because it's unbelievable, these stats that he's putting out. But yeah, Lucas Moura, as I said a couple of minutes ago, he's just been incredible in the past couple of games. He's a great addition to that front four. And when you see Harry Kane, Heung-min Son, Gareth Bale, and Lucas Moura coming at you as a defender, you're gonna be absolutely shivering. What if you play for Man City, if you play for Crystal Palace, it doesn't matter, because that is an incredible attack. And all we need to do is sort out those defensive errors. And in recent weeks, it looks like we've done that, because there's this great partnership emerging between Davinson Sanchez and Toby. Fingers crossed. We know we've been through it. But that is a positive addition. Instead, obviously, Dyer's been dropped, and he obviously made quite a lot of mistakes, and it was very frustrating to watch, as he's not really a natural centre-back. But it's positive in recent weeks at Spurs. It's lovely to watch. I think it's been we scored four goals in the past 3 games, and that shows it for you, doesn't it? We've got some great attacking talent at this football club, and we just need to use it, really, and we can. And the sky is the limit, honestly.
We will come on to talk about the defence, Josh, but Lucas Moura, he quite often, or very often, gets criticised by a lot of football fans, a lot of Tottenham Hotspur fans, a lot of people that come onto this channel saying, what is Lucas Moura about? What does he do? Does he score goals? Does he assist? But for you going forward, where does he fit into this squad?
Honestly, I see him as a cam, and I was reading today as a central attacking midfielder, and I was reading today that Pochettino wanted to play him there when he actually joined, and he complained to Poch and said, "No, I actually want to play on the right hand side." But I think we need him there. We're lacking a central attacking midfielder since Eriksen left, and I think he can provide a lot for us there. But I don't understand the Lucas slander. People say that he lives off that night in Amsterdam, but I think he brings a lot to this side. He's got great dribbling, he's got great pace, he's got great drive, and I think he provides a lot to this Tottenham team. And I don't think anyone should be writing off Lucas Moura.
Yeah, Dave, I'll come back to you in a minute. Antony, I want to come to you because I know, sometimes when I've spoken to you, you've not been Lucas Moura's #1 fan, but he did have a good game last night.
Listen, when we started talking, I gave my hats off to him, mate. Fair play to him. He's done really well. And as Josh said, if he's creating a lot now, playing in that, cam position, so to speak. For me, I don't want to see one good game in 15 when he plays. Yeah. I think he's very inconsistent. Everyone raves on about Gio Lo Celso, but he's been injured more times than he's played for Spurs, so I can't sit here and judge Gio, for example. But with Moura, he's had, 3 years now, 3.5 years. And yeah, all right, he's had some fantastic games, but I want to see a consistent Moura now. And if he's getting a run in the team, go out there and prove everyone wrong. And that's what he did last night. And let's see if he does that against them lot down the road on Sunday.
Antony, I want to talk about Christian Benteke scoring. Of course, we're both in a WhatsApp group. You said, Christian Benteke, he'll probably score. And then I won't repeat what you said when that equaliser went in. But you weren't happy, were you?
I was gutted, mate. I mean, the minute Matey boy gave away the foul, and I'm not even going to talk about that. He gave away the foul. He ran off like as if I gave away a foul at that point there, I'd be gutted. And he just runs off as if he does that every day in track. Do you know what I mean? Anyway, enough about him. And I thought, right, this is it now. They're going to score. And lo and behold, couple of touches later, cross comes in. And Alderweireld, man, for a great defender, he's very flat-footed, isn't he? Mm-hmm. He's very flat-footed. And I've only just started to properly realise that when I've been watching him consistently. Because when he was with Jan Vertonghen, he weren't as flat-footed, so to speak. But his only bad trait is that he can't, for some reason, for a tall bloke, he can't get above the ball and head the ball out. And he just caught himself flapping, and Benteke got in amongst him and Sanchez, and wallop, there was the goal. And I thought, right, that's it. How are we going to come back from this? And I didn't see a 4-1, I'll be honest with you. Maybe a 2-1, nick a 2-1, great. But to go out there in the second half and score 3 goals, absolutely superb. And the way we done it, when we done it, was absolutely brilliant. So, yeah, hats off.
David, let's come to you. Now, at half-time when it was 1-1, how were you feeling? Were you confident that Tottenham would go on to win this game? Because we looked very, very comfortable. We had all of the play. We had a couple of chances. There wasn't much clear-cut chances in that first half. But, you felt that Tottenham, should have taken more of an advantage and got that second goal. But when we went in at 1-1, did you think, here we go again?
Yeah, I was starting to think that, Chris. And the reason why is because what I've noticed over this season is a pattern. It's a routine that we either play a good first 45 minutes and we go in leading at half time and play dreadful the second half, or we play dreadful the first half and go out in the second half already losing, trying to claw it back. So it was good to see us actually putting 90 minutes together yesterday. It was important, very important. At 1-1, I wasn't confident, to be honest with you. I really wasn't. But one thing I will say is I did get my score prediction right. I did predict 4-1 before the game on my preview, so I got that right. Just to come in on the Lucas Moura thing as well, just to touch on a couple of things there. Lucas Moura, he's very important. He's very important in the number 10 role. He's much more suited to number 10 because of the player he is. When he's out right and he tends to get on the ball, it's very easy to channel him down the right-hand side and show him into one direction. But like when he's in the middle, he can go left, he can go right. He's very direct, so he's perfect to play in that middle. He's also very important in the press. One big thing that we didn't see in Fulham that we've seen against Burnley and Palace is when Dele Alli played against Fulham. Okay, Dele Alli, for me, I think he had a good game, but the press wasn't there. When you have Harry Kane up top and he's setting the press, because he's not the quickest, you need a quick player in that centre attacking midfield to help set the trap, and that's exactly what Lucas Moura does. And we got rewarded for it yesterday. And all credit to Jose for making that decision to start playing him in there as a number 10. And the fact that Lucas wouldn't do it for Poch and he's doing it for Jose, it's just goes to show that he hasn't lost the dressing room.
Yeah, it's very weird you say that. Sorry, Chris. And what Josh said, coming on to what Josh said about Moura apparently saying to Poch, I want to play on the right hand side. I think now he knows that he ain't top bod Moura. Do you know what I'm saying? Bale's there. If Bale's on form, you ain't getting in front of Bale. No chance. No matter who you are. You know what I'm saying? So his next best thing is to go, okay, I'll play, in a number 10 role. Great. Do it. And do it well. That's what I want to see. I want to see you play like that against Arsenal.
Yeah. John, let's come to you. Antony says, he thinks that things have changed because Gareth Bale's in the team. Jose Mourinho has come out recently and said, well, if Gareth Bale was super fit, he'd play in every game. Do you see him featuring in all of these games? Because we've got games coming thick and fast from now until the end of the season. And as Antony said, it's the business end of the season, and games are very, very important. Whether Tottenham will finish in the top 4, top 5, top 6, go far in the Europa League or win the League Cup. You need players like Gareth Bale in the team. Will he get these starts? Because Jose Mourinho said about him, starting, in games and not playing 2 games in a week. Well, he done it. He played against Fulham and he played last night.
Yeah, exactly. And I think we've got like 15 or more games. And the one player who you want to be fit for those business end games of the season is Gareth Bale. Your world-class, proper, super world-class player. He's an absolute worldie, Gareth Bale. And especially for that Carabao Cup final. We know exactly what Bale can do in a cup final. Look what he did against Liverpool in the Champions League final when he scored that bicycle kick and whacked it in from 30 yards out. Just his individual talent and brilliance could get us over the line in a final or a really difficult Europa League tie. So I think we've got to get him in there for most games, even if it's just playing 45 minutes here and there, like against Zagreb. Put him in there for 45 minutes maybe, or half an hour. And if he can stay fit, then he's got to play. I mean, we know what that Bale in recent years, especially at Real Madrid, he's had his problems with injuries. He's had quite a few injuries. But maybe if he can actually keep fit for this business end of the season, he's obviously clearly in a very positive mindset, not just shown by his incredible performances on the pitch in recent games, but on social media, his posts are very positive. Posting things about having good vibes with all the teammates. He looks very happy.
Yeah.
All of this Welsh Mafia celebrations. He seems like a happy boy and he's enjoying himself. He's at the club with the fans that absolutely love him after having such a torrid time in Madrid, even though he won them so many trophies. But as you said, we really need to just crack on now and keep this winning streak going. And with Gareth Bale, he's only gonna get fitter. He's only gonna score more goals, get more assists, get more involved. And as I said, we could end up finishing in the top 4 and winning 2 trophies, or we will not. And does that depend on Gareth Bale? Maybe, but there's a positive vibe around our club right now, and Gareth Bale has definitely helped that occur.
It's amazing though, Josh, isn't it? Just, within a few weeks, just a couple of wins, the confidence now is very high, where you said a few weeks back, it was very, very low. Exactly.
And honestly, Gareth Bale, if you look at the stats, I think they showed it after the Sky Sports coverage. He's just turned insanely good in recent weeks. He's got like 6 goals in his last 6 games. He's been assisting every game apart from one. I think that's the Fulham game. It looks like he's like performing the best he ever has. And as well, his passing, his vision, his just everything in his game. He just looks like he's playing the best football he ever has. Like, he was involved in every single goal that we scored against Palace. He was getting pre-assists. I don't like that word, but he was assisting the assister, knocking the ball into dangerous positions, spreading out the play, and we've missed that in recent weeks. So
Josh, look how Kane's obviously upped his game to another level that he can do. You know, I didn't think he could get up to another level, but he has, because he's got, you know, a Champions League winner right next to him.
Exactly.
You see what I'm saying? He hasn't got, you know, a few players behind him that ain't the greatest. He's got a Champions League winner right there next to him. And look, it's been brilliant. But I must say, you know, coming on to Son, and I don't want to, I think he's been very, very quiet the last couple of games. All right, he assisted last night.
We'll come on to Son in a minute, if you don't mind.
Yeah, go on.
Let's talk about, you know, Gareth Bale got Tottenham second, and then, of course, Tottenham's third goal, Harry Kane. Anthony, talk me through Harry Kane's wonder goal.
Wow. I didn't even see it coming. It was so quick, lads. I mean, it was just like left his foot, bang, wallop, there you go. And it was just unreal. What an absolute class, world-class striker that is, to see that vision. And I was talking to someone today that's played professional football, and they said it is so hard to do that technique with that power, and the way he hit it was unreal. Oh, man, West Ham got a bloody penalty. Oh, you are kidding me, man. Anyway, oh, mate. So, yeah, Harry Kane, absolutely brilliant last night with that goal. Superb.
Not bad for a one-season wonder, eh, Anthony?
Yeah, I know. Yeah, one-season wonder. And people still don't give him the respect he deserves. You know that. It all winds me up. That's what upsets me. Was when I'm reading that Antony Martial's a better striker than Kane. It's like, come on. Oh,
that's just for clicks. Don't mind that.
I saw all that.
I know. It's embarrassing.
David, tell me what else can us Tottenham fans say about Harry Kane that's not been said already?
Look, there's nothing else you can say. One thing I will say is I actually do think he's become a better player under Mourinho than what he was great under Poch, but I think he's developed all around better under Mourinho. He's added a whole new dimension to his game. He's doing a lot more for the team. And look, it's just Harry Kane, king of the lane, isn't it? You know, he just scores goals for a living. Like that one he scored yesterday. I'm not surprised. I expect these things from Harry Kane now. He's literally the greatest striker in world football.
Yeah. Absolutely. Josh, before we come on to you, David, if you don't mind, take this question. Top centre-back in the summer. You've said it all along. Milan Skriniar will win the league in 2022. Trust Jose Mourinho. I know you're a big Jose fan.
Yeah. No, look, I have highlighted the defence being a problem. I highlighted that the downturn in injuries the downturn in results was due to injuries, and our backup players are nowhere near the standard that they need to be to come in and keep what was happening ticking over. They don't have the mentality either. And look, we definitely need a centre back in the summer. Toby Alderweireld isn't getting any younger. Dyer's not good enough to come in. Roden, I'm not sure whether he's going to make the grade yet or not. So a top centre back we need in the summer. There's a few options you can go and get. You can look at Milinkovic for Fiorentina. He's a very good centre back. You look at the likes of Skriniar. That kid from Aston Villa that everyone's raving about, Konsa.
He's a Spurs
apparently he's supposed to be top notch. A lot of people really highly rate him.
Good
so that wouldn't be a bad one to come in. Look, a centre back, Chris, and maybe one or two, maybe another centre midfielder in the summer, and maybe a right back. I think you can book your hotel for the Champions League final next season.
Wow. Josh, let's come back to you. Let's come back to Harry Kane as well. Harry Kane has now been involved in 40 goals in all competitions this season, 36 games played, and he has scored 24 goals and has got 16 assists. That is some incredible record, isn't it?
Honestly, he just is the best striker in the world. He's unbelievable, and he's just so amazing to watch. He's incredible. That goal that he scored, that the lads have just been talking about, it was just incredible. One hit into the side netting from like 25 yards out, and the bend on it, it was just perfect. It was like a golfer when he bent his back and he just whipped it, and it was lovely. What a goal from Harry Kane. That has got to go down as probably one of his best, to be quite honest. But he's the best striker in the world, and everyone's saying, oh, he's not because of Lewandowski for Bayern Munich. Don't come at me with that. Harry Kane has done this now for so many years, and he's only got better. And I think Dave said he's exploded under Mourinho. And what did Jose say in the documentary? I think in his first day at the Spurs job, he said he got Harry into his office and he said, if you join me, I will help you to explode. That's what he said, and that's what's happened. Jose has got him to absolutely explode because I didn't even expect Harry Kane to get this many assists. You expect him to score all the goals, but his all-round gameplay has been incredible, and Neo has just got it bang on. Because I was about to say, Anderson from Fulham is absolute quality. He's Danish. He's been unbelievable for Fulham, and they look like a totally different side. Well done to Scott Parker, obviously an ex-Yiddo. He's done so well for Fulham, but I take that Anderson. He looks like a really, really good centre-back. I'm not too sure about these Skriniars and Milenkovic's. They've got 50 or 60 million, and it's
Milinkovic won't. Milinkovic has a release clause of 25 million.
Listen, I'd love someone like Milinkovic, you know, for example. Yeah, brilliant, and would be great for the club. But I have to go on the lines of I want someone or two centre-halves to come in that know the Premier League. Because unfortunately, guys, we all know we ain't got the patience as fans anymore. I certainly haven't. I can't be having one geezer playing one game really well and having 10 rubbish games because he's got to play over Christmas and, you know, he's missing his fat, you know, he's homesick, or do you know what I'm saying? We have to hit the ground running the minute that August comes in, and I think we need two centre halves that are Premiership proven already.
Antony, great point from Gary Pearce here. Writes about getting Skriniar, Sabitzer, Heung-min, Jae, and Dybala. What are our chances of signing these realistically?
Sabitzer and Dybala all day long. I'd love. I would really, really love that, and obviously have Bale there next season as well once the fans are hopefully in. But yeah, Sabitzer you could get away with being from overseas because I don't know, with midfielders for me they got time to settle. They can read the game a bit better. But when you're a defender, you've got to hit that ground running because it's all about the results at the end of the day. Do you know what I mean, boys? So
realistic signings though, Antony, for you?
Sabitzer would be. I'd love Sabitzer. Someone that can take a free kick as well, because that's one thing we ain't got, lads. And no matter about, I love Harry Kane like the next man, but he's not good on free kicks. We haven't got a free kick taker.
We've got Bale.
We got Bale, but 1 in 10 go in. Do you know what I'm saying? I want. I'm not saying get him in, but a Ward-Prowse, James Ward-Prowse, bang! You know what you're getting. He knows where the target is. Yeah. Not a flair, fantastic 10 out of 10 player every week. But if we get a free kick in around that 18-yard box, you know it's going to either hit the target or go in 9 times out of 10.
The thing is, with someone like Ward-Prowse, look at what Hotspur has done for our side. No one said Hotspur was going to be the player that changes our side and makes us go to the kind of next level in midfield. If you bring in someone like James Ward-Prowse, he plays around the Harry Kanes, the Sons, the Bales. He hasn't got that at Southampton. He's playing with the Ginepos and Che Adams. So you bring him in and he'll probably excel. And he's Premier League proven. He's a good football player. So I think you're right there, Antony.
I just you know, we've had players from overseas, you know, the third best La Liga scorer behind Messi and Ronaldo, and look what happened there. You know, Janssen, the best striker in the Dutch league, and look what happened there. We ain't got time. We ain't got time anymore. Sorry. I want it the ground running now because we ain't got time to go on.
Antony, I know you wanted to talk about Heung-min Son. Well, of course, Tottenham's fourth last night against Crystal Palace. Heung-min Son, very unselfish, laid it off to Harry Kane, scored Tottenham's fourth. And, of course, they've broken a record, 14 goals combined in the Premier League this season. Breaking Alan Shearer's and Chris Sutton's record of the 94-95 season. These two have been incredible this season, haven't they, Antony?
Yeah, that Craig Dawson's just scored for West Ham.
Is it 2-0?
Yeah, 2-0 now. Oh, man. I want to be above them, boys. Coming back, sorry, I lost track. Sonny, I mean, yesterday, obviously he was very unselfish in the fourth goal. I just think he looks very tired, boys. I don't know about you. He looks very... He just looks leggy, doesn't he? He looks, I don't know, he looks very tired, very lethargic. I think he needs a rest. I think I wouldn't play him on Thursday. I'm jumping ahead here. I wouldn't play him Thursday. I'll just give him the whole week off this week and ready for that Arsenal game on Sunday.
Totally agree.
I think he loves a goal against Arsenal and let him start against Arsenal. I think we've got enough, hopefully, in our squad to go out and do a good job against Zagreb on Thursday.
What's been your moment of the season so far, Anthony, where Harry Kane and Heung-min Son have combined?
Probably the Southampton game. I really enjoyed that because obviously, we were 1-0 down and I thought, typical Spurs, we're going to throw this away. And then Harry Kane assisting Son 4 goals and it was just lovely to see. And that's when I thought Harry Kane now has stepped up a gear. And, Paul's saying he's not the best striker in the world, he's the best footballer. Yeah, he's definitely up there, isn't he? 100%.
Yeah. David, do you want to add any more on Harry Kane or Heung-min Son?
Just on Sonny. Look, with Son, there's a lot being made because he's not scoring goals at the minute. But when you're not scoring goals, the next best thing to a goal is assisting goals and being, having a big hand in creating these goals. And ultimately, that's what Son has done. You can't score goals every week, and sometimes in front of goal, it just doesn't fall your way. And when it's not falling your way, you have to keep persevering, but you also just have to keep creating, and your goal will come. And like we've always said, like if Sonny wasn't scoring or Kane wasn't scoring, there's no one to pick up that slack. Well, Bale's over the other side now. So Son isn't being scrutinised as much either now. But he's still had a massive hand in most of the goals we've scored over the last week. He still had massive contributions.
Do you think,
so for me, look, even though he's not scoring, I still think he's playing well. I still think he's chipping in. But I do agree with Antony. For me, forget about Thursday night if I was Son. Get ready for the scum. That's where I want him. I want him fit, healthy, and I want him ready. And I also want his father to give him a rest week and not train him this week. Because as we've seen in the sensational documentary, he trains him every day. So his father cannot train him this week, and we need to rest him.
You think, though, David, but for some of these young players coming through, like Dane Scarlett, 16-year-old, you think, like, playing along like Harry Kane, Heung-min Son, Gareth Bale, what an experience it must be for some of these youngsters, even in training at Hotspur way, to be playing alongside these players.
Chris, it's only a dream. It's only a dream. As a young lad, I grew up wishing I was in the dressing room with Klinsmann and Ginola. Do you know what I mean? It's every kid's dream. And Dane Scarlett, I really like this kid. He's tasty. For me, he's got the passion, he's got the heart, he's got the desire. But from the glimpses I've seen of him in the Europa League this season, one thing I really like about him is his off-the-ball runs. It's very intelligent. And when he's able to make runs like that, you don't have to be the strongest player in the world. Your runs will always get you in space. Now, the only thing he needs to learn is getting his first touch right and just being composed. Once that comes, he's going to be very good. I do think he's going to overtake Parrott. I really do. I firmly believe that. I don't think Parrott has a dedication to the game like Scarlett does. Like Scarlett's watching Harry Kane, the way he lives off the field, and you can guarantee he's doing the exact same. You know what I mean? If I was any of these youngsters, I'd be sitting beside them in the canteen. I'd be asking them how to get to the level they get to, what did they do outside the game, what did they do with their downtime, everything else. And you're not going to get any better role model than Harry Kane. His hair looks good. He's always well presented. He lives good. You know what I mean? He plays good. And he scores some of the best goals that you'll ever see in the Premier League. So there's no better player for Scarlett to learn off. But one thing I do like about Scarlett is, for me, there's shades of Samuel Eto'o in there.
Oh.
Talking of great hair, David, someone messaged me the other day saying, did your hat ever come off?
No, look, before when I first started, I had the hair out and that. But no, look, for me, I like the hat. It works with the Irish team. A lot of other people love it. So it's here to stay for the next while.
Josh, you brought this up earlier about the defensive partnership and Tottenham's best defence. Jose Mourinho in the last couple of games gone with Davinson Sanchez and Toby Alderweireld. Is that the best centre-back partnership for you?
At the moment, it looks like it is, and I can't really fault them in the past couple of games. Although, as we said, that goal that Benteke scored against us, to be honest, as Antony said, he was really angry. My dad was quite fuming. But I sat there and I said, this has been coming. We've got a couple of issues to do with going into half time. We seem to be conceding a lot of goals about when we're just about to go into half time, or we're losing games in the last minute in recent months. But I would say that although Toby Alderweireld got caught out on that goal because he wasn't goal side, that's the only mistake he's made in a couple of games. And in the past, like 3-4 games, Davinson Sanchez and Alderweireld have done a job at centre-back. They've been pretty classy. And I think especially Sanchez, who's been criticised so much by our fan base, he's been literally like brutally criticised by pretty much every Spurs fan because he got embarrassed at Man City because he was eating grass, getting put on his arse. But to be quite honest, he's put in a good shift for quite a few games, and it's good to see. I like it. You want to back your players. You want to go, right, well done. You've proved us all wrong, and good for him. And I hope it continues because personally, I don't want to see Dyer in there. He's let us down too many times, and you just know it's going to happen. He's going to make a mistake in there because he's not a centre-back, and it's not his fault. He's a central defensive midfielder, and he shouldn't be at centre-back. But hopefully Jose can trust Sanchez and Alderweireld. And obviously they can't play every game. Like we've got to play Zagreb on Thursday and then Arsenal on Sunday. And I agree with the lads. Give Son a rest. He looks absolutely knackered. Honestly, although he's getting involved, the sunshine is getting outshone by Gareth Bale, and you can really quite see it. He looks tired compared to Bale. So give him a rest on Thursday and let's move from there.
We will come on to Thursday and Sunday's game to talk about the possible team. But Josh, talk to me about Sergio Reguilón, because it's a player that I've been very, very impressed with. And, people talk about, one player don't change the team. But when Sergio Reguilón is in our starting 11, we are such a different team.
Honestly, this boy is different gravy. I really like Sergio Reguilón. And all this stuff about Luke Shaw being the best left-back in the league, he's not. I genuinely think Reguilón is up there to be one of the best left backs in Europe, if not the Premier League, because the cross on that boy is amazing. He's got a wonder cross on him, way better than the Alexander Arnolds of the league, etc. He can whip in balls, and I think he put in that ball that Kane then knocked onto Bale for his second goal. He's done it all season, apart from being injured. He's consistent, like you said about Antony, said about Lucas. Sergio Reguilón is consistent. He consistently plays well. I think he's had one bad game this season that I can remember. But he's a great football player. And I don't know what Real Madrid are thinking getting rid of him. Because he's fantastic. When you watch a football player and you think he just looks like he's on another level. He looks like he's not a normal football player. He's a great football player. And long may he keep fit, because we need him in there. And although Ben Davies does a job, he doesn't. He does get criticised, and he does an average job. He's an average player, but he's not special. And we need Reguilón in there for Son to excel, because it allows Son to actually get up the pitch on the left. Because when Davies plays, Sonny, his game just goes out the window. That's probably why he hasn't been getting any goals or assists in recent weeks, because when Davies plays, he's so defensive. Son has to drop, and then he can't get involved. So Reguilón opens up lots of space for other players. He's a great football player himself, and I just wish we can see more of him, and he keeps fit.
How many times did we see him on the end of things in the box yesterday as well, which was very good to see. You know what I mean? Ben Davies, he gets a nosebleed if he goes past halfway. Reguilón, he loves going in there. He has aspirations of being a left winger at times there yesterday. Yeah. He was that far off the pitch. And just tucking in the way he does, when Son tucks inside, he comes in on the outside, continues his run, and that's how he's getting on the end of things. And it's absolutely brilliant to see. And it's what you want from your fullback. And whether people like to believe it or not, modern day fullbacks are essential into the way teams play nowadays. Yep. Essential. And when you're downgrading to Ben Davies, who not only can he not go forward and not pass the ball straight, he gets spun every week.
Yeah,
he gets spun week in, week out. You may as well be listening to a bit of Madonna. You know what I mean? You spin me. It's ridiculous.
It's surprising as well, David, that Sergio Reguilón hasn't scored a goal for Tottenham yet, but I can see many goals to come from him. Antony, let's come to you. probably your most used word on this channel is mistakes. But if you look at the last 4 games, you've got to give credit to our defence, because the only goal that we did concede was last night, Christian Benteke's header. Have you been impressed with Tottenham's defending in the last 4 games?
Yeah, because Alderweireld's playing and Reguilon's back. That's it, Chris. The boys have hit it on the head. Sanchez, unfortunately, ain't the greatest when he's got Dyer next to him, or Dyer if Dyer's with someone else or whoever. If Alderweireld's fit, he's got to play. End of. Yeah. End of. Yeah. And he obviously made a mistake yesterday, but as an all-round centre-half, he's our best centre-half. And Reguilon has to start every game if and when he's fit. Would you start him on? I mean, we're going to go on to Thursday, but Reguilon, he just bombs down that left wing. He bombs down. He gets crosses in. And 5 assists in 6 years for Davis ain't good enough. Sorry, not good enough. And I've given him chance after chance, season after season. He needs to, unfortunately, needs to move on now.
Antony, for you, who are Tottenham's best back 4? Is it if I guessed your favourite back 4, would you go with Sergio Aurier, Sergio Reguilon, and then Sanchez and Toby at the back?
Yeah, I mean, it's a tough one, isn't it? I mean, Toby's got to start. Reguilon, Aurier. And if Sanchez is doing all right, so he deserves his place. I've been very critical of Sanchez over this season, but you put an old head in Alderweireld next to him, he ain't going to make many mistakes. Let me tell you that.
Antony, I wanted to just ask you one more question. Lots of people on the channel yesterday were saying, "Why is Harry Winks in the starting 11?" What do you think Jose Mourinho's thinking was behind that?
Why are you asking me that question, Chris? Why? You speak to me. Why are you asking that question? You know how I feel. Bless him. When I saw the starting lineup, my heart sunk a little. I ain't gonna lie.
It was nice to reckon Ndombele there, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was. But again, there was no creativity in the midfield. Luckily, we had the likes of Bale, Son, and Kane in there, because if it would have been Winks, Vinicius, and Lamela, and someone else on the right, Moura on the right hand side, it'd have been, we probably would have lost 1-0. So again, bless him, Winks, it's just not good enough. Not good enough. I've given him chance after chance. I'm not having. He had one good half against Real Madrid 5 years ago. I'm not having that. We need to stop being sentimental now as fans.
Yeah.
And just move on. I'm fed up of but he's been at the club since he was 10. Yeah, so what? You're not good enough. You're not putting up many trees. Sorry. That's my heart did sink. Yeah, go on, Josh.
I worry though. In recent weeks, Ndombele hasn't looked the kind of player that he was in recent months. He looks tired, and I think he needed to be rested. He deserves. I love him. I think he's a fantastic football player. Ndombele. He's incredible. He's got such amazing skill set. He's brilliant. But in recent weeks, he's looked very leggy. He hasn't been the type of player that he has, and he needed to be dropped. He genuinely needed to be dropped. Although Winks, the stuff he's done, like that West Ham game, he didn't clear it. That got me.
That's what I mean. When he hit that ball against Everton in the FA Cup, you'd be gutted, wouldn't you? You'd be sick to the stomach. He just hit that ball and ran off like he does it every day in training. Yeah. Where's the heart, man? Where is it?
He embarrasses every single one of us Spurs fans. He's just
I've had enough of it. Enough of the sentiments, man. When he gave away that free kick, he just went off jogging. Oh, all right. What are you doing? You put us under pressure in a dangerous area. And they obviously went on and scored. Now, if we would have lost that game, what am I going to do? Sit here and go, "Oh, it's all right. He's Spurs through and through." No. Ta-da.
Sometimes I think he thinks he's a quarterback in the NFL, because he slows play down that much. He likes to let everyone get back behind the ball, and then he scans the pitch. Sometimes I think he thinks he's a quarterback.
Yeah, and the thing is, you ain't getting creativity in that midfield when he plays. I'm sorry, lads. Whether you rate him or not, he's just not good enough.
No, I don't rate him.
And you can't say
no one can say good enough.
Dave, no one can turn around and say, "Oh, but Jose didn't give him any chances," because he's been given plenty of chances against. But the thing is,
good he walks into Jose Mourinho's office. He's looking for first team football, but he didn't go into Jose and say, you know, please, Sir Jose, can I play this week because I feel like I can help the team, and you know, I love this club and everything else. What he done is he walked in and he says, sorry, Jose, I want to play this week because I want to make the England squads in the Euros.
Yeah.
He doesn't care about Tottenham. His mind is on the summer already. You know what I mean? And that's that's part of the problem with the guy. If he just concentrated on the here and now and what he was doing, he might actually play a bit better. You know, like I've noticed the thing with Harry Winks, and he's very, very clever at this, is he goes hiding a lot in games.
100%.
Watch this, right? Everyone watch this from now on. When he gives a ball off, right, look at the position he puts himself in to receive that ball. It's very clever. He puts himself in a position where he can't get it, but then he throws the arms out and screams like he really wants it, even though he knows where he's placed himself, he's not going to receive it. He's very clever at that.
Well, it's all good and well.
Champion.
It's all good and well saying, oh, you're Spurs through and through. But the only way to show that you're Spurs through and through is on the pitch. Someone like Hotspur, who's going to die for 3 points for you. He's going to put his body on the line. And it's like what Neil Warnock has said before. You have to go and die on the pitch to win 3 points. And Harry Winks, obviously he's a Spurs boy through and through. But he's not dying for the 3 points. He's not putting his body on the line. He's not putting, he's just not putting it in on the pitch. And you get judged, sadly, in football on your performances. You can say whatever the hell you want, but Chris, he's not been playing properly.
Chris, what do you think, mate? Seriously, hand on heart, what do you think, honestly?
Well, I was going to ask you about Harry Winks, and Anthony, you use the phrase quite a lot, he's not good enough, or they are not good enough. You know, when certain people use that phrase, they're not good enough. Not good enough for what? Not good enough to challenge for the Premier League. Not good enough to finish in the top four. Not good enough to play in the Europa League. What are they not good enough for? Because, you know, what are we actually going for? You know, when you talk about next season, you know, about certain players being at the club. And I know that you've said, you know, on a number of occasions on this channel about Ben Davies, Harry Winks, Eric Lamela, you know, to name a few. You know, what are they not good enough for, in your opinion?
They're not good enough for this team, for this first 11. I think Winks slows everything down. Again, as Dave said, he goes missing. He'll give that ball and do a little crafty little turn, so he don't receive it. And it's like, I was there, man. I was there. Did you see me? And it's like, nah, bruv. Everyone can see what you're trying to do. That's why you're hardly ever getting the ball. And when I see things like he's completed 150 passes, because he's passed it sideways. Because he's too scared to go forward. He don't take risks, Chris. He don't create nothing. Alisson Dombele, all right, he'll get tackled 9 times out of 10. But that one chance, he'll drop a shoulder and make a run. Or he'll do a through ball. He don't do nothing.
It was actually the next subject I was going to come on to, the squad depth, because the games that we've got, you know, remaining in the Premier League, and of course we've got the Europa League games as well, and of course we've got the Cup final. You talk about Heung-min Son, you talk about Harry Kane, we're now, you know, throwing Gareth Bale in the equation. You want these players to play in every single game. But surely the likes of Ben Davies, Harry Winks, Eric Lamela, and in my opinion, Eric Lamela, every time he's come on as a sub in the last few weeks, he's done exceptionally well.
Yeah,
he's done a lot of effort.
It's taken him 8 years, but he's done all right. Do you know what I mean? I'm not going... Yeah, go on.
Can I just come in on that point about them not being good enough? Look, the reason why, I agree with Antony, why they're not good enough is because how many players have come and gone, right, in these players' positions, and they still haven't been able to find their way into any sort of team. And we've had players that we've brought in and come straight in ahead of them. Now, if the manager doesn't fancy them ever, it's clear to see that they are just not good enough for this level. They're not good enough for where we want to be. They're not good enough for Champions League. They've proven to us that they've not been good enough for Europa League. Some of their performances have been very half-hearted. You know what I mean? And they're not good enough for where we want to take this club next.
Lads, if let me ask you a question, right? The League Cup final, the teams come out, right? We get it on the Twitter or you know, whatever. Yeah. And you see Harry Winks instead of Ndombele in there, right? Lamela.
Anthony, we saw it in the Champions League final.
Exactly. Yeah. This is what I mean. The first 10 seconds, he gives the ball away, goes to Sissoko, and the rest is history.
So, but you're saying Harry Winks is not good enough. You know, using that term, he's not good enough. But Pochettino put him in the starting 11 for a Champions League final.
Yeah, because Poch is Poch, innit?
Well,
You know,
that's
Well,
behind us, isn't it?
if we didn't
Poch
sell
went on sentiments,
Ndombele
mate. Chris,
or
Poch went on
Wanyama, maybe he
sentiments,
wouldn't
mate.
have been there. The only
Exactly.
the only reason why he found his way in there is because we ended up sending Ndombele.
Yeah.
Or not Ndombele, Moussa Dembele, sorry.
Yeah, completely. You're
I
telling
think-
me Dembele was there, he was going to get in front of Dembele? Not a chance.
Mm.
One of the biggest mistakes we've ever done as a club.
Yeah. I think you've got to be
There's-
careful. I think you've got to be
There's
careful.
a reason why Pochettino converted Sissoko to a centre midfielder from a right winger. And that's because even he knows Winks wasn't up to the job.
Yeah. But also, I think Moussa is actually better at centre mid. He's not a winger. He looks dreadful when he's played on the right. I think Mourinho played him on the right against Liverpool at Anfield, and I was fuming. We lost that game because of that. I was so cross. I can't even talk about that.
Yeah, but Moussa Sissoko for Newcastle against us, the last game of the season when they're
Well, that
relegated,
5-goal
he
one.
was unbelievable. And when we signed him, I was like, oh, okay, yeah, I've seen him live. He's done all right. He battered us, but no, he comes to Spurs and he gets Spurs, doesn't he?
Yeah. I think about Harry Winks.
The reason why he was actually good at Newcastle and when he came to Spurs and it didn't work out straight off the bat from him is because with Newcastle, they were a very counter-attacking team. So with his explosiveness and his pace, that's what made him look so good because when he was getting the ball at Newcastle, he had all that space to run into, all that space to attack. But whereas when he came to Tottenham, because teams were sitting back against us, because we had so much possession and we were dominating games, he had no space to play into, and he's not the most technical. He's the sort of player he needs lots of space to open up.
Yeah,
and it's his power that makes him better.
I think we just need to Cottonwall and Ndombele and Højbjerg until the cup final. Just manage them right because I'm sorry. If matey boys in the midfield in that cup final, might as well call it. See you later. Ta-da.
Antony, if the cup final was tomorrow, what starting 11 would you like Jose Mourinho to go with?
The starting 11 last night, but Aurier instead of Doherty.
And that would be your starting 11 for the cup final?
Yeah, I'm just trying to think. Højbjerg and Ndombele. Yeah, Ndombele would be there. Yeah, sorry. Højbjerg and Ndombele, Bale, Lucas, Son and Kane. Yeah, that's all I'll do. At the moment, as we're talking now, I'm not saying Ali's not good enough. I love Ali, but at this present time, if the League Cup final was tomorrow, that's who I'd play.
That's quite an attacking. That's quite an attacking lineup against a Pep Guardiola side, though, isn't it?
But Chris, it's a one-off game, mate.
Yeah.
Sorry, it's a one-off game. I don't want to be, 0-0 and they nick a goal in the last minute and we've had 90% possession. I don't want to see that. I'll be devastated.
It'll be a very interesting time when that lineup comes out. It really will. David, let me come to you. Gary,
I have a question for you, if that's okay.
Yeah, go on.
So because we're talking about the Carabao Cup final, so over the last few weeks we've changed from a 4-3-3 to a 4-2-3-1. Now, when we bet City and we convincingly bet them and got the 3 points, we played a 4-3-3. So would you play the 4-2-3-1 going into the final, or would you play the 4-3-3?
I think it depends on what Jose Mourinho does on the players fit at the time. I do think that it has worked out better for us that we are playing in April rather than now, or a couple of weeks ago, because of course the form that we're in. But I think it all depends on what players they've got playing and what players we've got playing. And it just depends. And as Antony said, it's a one-off game. Anything can happen. I don't know why. I from the start of the season, I felt very confident that we're gonna lift the League Cup, and I feel very disappointed if we don't win it. I really, really will. But formation-wise, David, I don't know. I think that will be decided, in the days running up to the League Cup final, obviously with Jose, and it will just be what players are fit. And let's hope that all of our top players can stay fit, because we do need to lift that trophy. And I don't care how we do it. I don't care what the score is. I just want to see Harry Kane, Heung-min Son, all of our squad, Jose Mourinho, lift that trophy, because it's just been so long. It really
best
has.
feeling in the world, isn't it, Chris?
Yeah,
yeah.
I'll tell you what. About squad depth and Harry Winks and that type of player, like the Ben Davises, the Harry Winkses, it'll be an absolute travesty if that lot let down Harry Kane and let down Son and let down the others who have pushed us through in recent years, because they haven't put the effort in. That'll be an absolute travesty if we don't win a trophy because of that lot, honestly, because those boys deserve the trophy so badly. Harry Kane and Son especially, and others, they deserve a trophy at this club. They've been completely... They could have gone anywhere and won. Harry Kane could go to any club on the earth and win any trophy he wants, but he's been loyal to us because he's Spurs through and through, and he puts in the performances every week. So we need to win a trophy. And I've said to Dad and friends before, if Harry Kane or Son wins any trophy with Spurs, even the Carabao Cup, which is probably not the biggest trophy, is it? It means more than going to City and being around millions and hundreds of millions of pounds worth of players and winning every trophy under the sun, because they've just bought it. If you win it with Tottenham, you deserve it. And now you can't use any more excuses. You cannot use any more excuses. There used to be, oh, we're too young. We haven't got the experience. We haven't been in many cup finals before. They've been to the pinnacle. We were both there in Madrid, weren't we, Chris? We saw what happened in that final. They've got to actually learn from that final. And if that happens again, I actually can't, because they've got to learn from that. Man City haven't been in a Champions League final. We have. Those players have played against Liverpool in a Champions League final, the biggest game of their career. And to be quite honest, they played like it was a Sunday league game.
Pathetic, wasn't it? Absolutely.
It was unbelievable. So they need to go into this cup final with Jose Mourinho. If there was one manager that you could choose to go into with a cup final, it would probably be Jose. He's won so many bloody trophies. You want him. We've got a manager who can win us a trophy. You can just imagine in that 15 minutes before the game, Jose knows exactly what he's going to be saying to those lads. He's done it before countless times with worse teams. He won the Carabao Cup with Man United when they had a shocking side.
Yeah, won the Europa League, mate, with United.
Yeah. And this Tottenham team is so much better, and they deserve a trophy so badly.
Yeah. But that's why it was interesting to ask Antony about the team lineup for that game, because, you know, going back to your point, David, I don't think that Jose Mourinho will be so attacking against Manchester City. I think we'll be very defensive in that game, but, you know, time will tell and we'll find out. Let's wait and see. Let's talk about the question on screen, David. We talk about Heung-min Son, Harry Kane and Gareth Bale, but Lucas, for me, is now currently in front of Giovanni Lo Celso and Dele Alli in the number 10. I have to agree with that. What are your thoughts?
Full on agree with it. Look, just because Dele Alli's come back and has had 2 good games, it doesn't mean, you know, automatically he's better than Lucas and automatically he's in the team. It's not the case. Look, whatever Dele had going on in his private life, it's affected him on the pitch. But look, him and Jose have sorted it out. He looks back to his best. But he still has a long way to go to prove to us Spurs fans that he still wants to be here. He's here with the right attitude. Like, you can't just sack 6 months of a season off just because you don't want to play under a manager's system, and then all of a sudden come back and expected to be forgiven. This is the problem with this fan base. This kid, he still has a lot to do to the end of this season. For me, Lucas deserves to be there. Lucas has transitioned from right wing to a number 10. He's completely transformed that attack. He adds pace. He adds a bit of flair to it, so he deserves to be there. Lo Celso, and I agree with Antony, for as much potential as that guy has, what has he done to even warrant to be mentioned? To come in and play. Like, he spent more time off the pitch than what he has done on the pitch. And when he has been on the pitch, I'm not being funny, but he hasn't been outstanding. He hasn't been that good that you can say as soon as he's injured, he's back in the team. As soon as he gets back fit, he's a bench player, he's a squad player until he proves otherwise.
Josh, what's he done?
He scored against Man City, and when he's fit, he does play well. I think he's a good player.
I won a Brit Award in 2002. Don't make me the best singer in the world, does it?
I know what you mean. He had a good game against Real Madrid, and people call him a good player off the back of it. A good player does it consistently.
He's got to be consistent, Josh.
No, I agree. I do agree.
I'm not having a pop. I'm just saying.
No, of course.
When people, I think Lo Celso's fantastic.
Yeah.
What's he done? He's been injured. 10 more million would have got you Bruno Fernandes.
I can't believe we didn't do that.
That's what's so frustrating, though, isn't it? The fact that you know that you've got a quality player, and when they're out injured, you know, for most of it, Eric Lamela has gone through the same sort of problems as well.
Yeah, is he Lamela 2.0?
He's Lamela 2.5, 6, 5, 10, 11. I mean, Lamela's taken him 8 years, yeah. So don't even start on me with that one. But yeah, he's doing all right now. But does he? You know, he runs around a lot. Yeah, so would I for 400 grand a week. Yeah. You know,
Look, as well,
as much as we do, like, you know, and rightly so, as much as we've criticised these players, and look, I must stress, rightly so, in my opinion, criticism when criticism is due, and praise when praise is due. But as much as we have criticised these players, we also do need to keep in the back of our mind, like, okay, you know, we do need the likes of Lamella, Ben Davies, and Winks and that until the end of the season. Like, they're squad players, and they're going to be here, and we're going to have to dip them out until the end of the season. But let's not take our mind off the fact that come the summer, there is major overhauls, and some of these players have to go.
Is it going to happen, though, straight away? I can't see it, Dave. I can't see it, mate. I'd love it to, but I can't see it.
David, a point and a question here for you from Brian. Good evening, everyone. Great show and big up to the Irish Hotspur. And I must say, David, every time you come on, you get so many favourable comments on here. So, you know, big up to you. Lucas has shown his best form since he joined us. I agree. I completely agree.
Yeah.
He's taken him 3 years, though. Do you see what I'm saying? This is what he's supposed to be doing this week in, week
every
out.
week. I know.
Yeah, no, I agree with you.
But come on, man.
I agree with you. Look, you know,
just...
again, you know, it's taken 3 years for me. You know, he has been living off that. I know Josh said it earlier, but for me, I do think he has been living off that Ajax moment for the last while. And like, this is the problem with Spurs, you know. Like, we can have players that are here for 3 years, done absolutely nothing for the club, step in for 2 games, and all of a sudden, people are treating him like he's a Ballon d'Or winner. Look, I agree. Lucas has been good. He's been brilliant in the number 10, and long may it continue. I just hope that finally Jose Mourinho has cracked the position Lucas needs to play. Because, like I said, when he plays on the right hand side, it's very easy to send him down the right hand side, keep him on the outside, and send him down a tunnel, down a blind alley. But when he's playing in the middle, because he's such an elusive player, even he doesn't know what he's going to do until he touches the ball next. None of it's pre-planned. Yeah. He just runs with the ball, and if there's a defender in front of him, he doesn't know whether he's going to go left or right sometimes. Most of the times, actually. But when he's playing in the middle, he has all that freedom and all that space. But most importantly, it's the defensive work is why he's there. Jose Mourinho is the best defensive coach in the world, and the reason why he's playing number 10 is for his pressing game. Yeah. Against Fulham, when he wasn't there, Fulham were able to pass it along the back, side to side, and create sustained attack in that second half. Yeah. When Lucas played against Burnley and Palace, that wasn't the case. It was all long balls.
Different ball game, though, because Fulham, although their position in the table is very elusive because they've been playing very well, they just went to Anfield and beat Liverpool. We couldn't. They're actually doing well under Parker at the moment. I know they're Fulham. It's a bit odd saying that, but do you know what I mean? And also, we talk about recruitment. We talk about all these players coming in and stuff. Our recruitment just hasn't been good enough in the past couple of years. And who's that down to? It's down to the board. It's down to Levy. It's down to others at the club. There's so many players we've missed out on. It's unbelievable. Like, we missed out on Grealish for 25 million. And I can't believe that. That's ridiculous. We missed out on Fernandes. What a miss that is, because Mourinho wanted him in and he nearly joined. And a lot of people always say when he scores, all the Tottenham fans say, "Oh, we could have signed him," but it's a shame we didn't. It's a shame we didn't. We were linked with Diaz from Man City as well. I know we were linked with him, and we didn't spend the money on a centre back. We bought Roden, the cheap option, instead, and we all thought that we might have got Skriniar. We're spending all this money, which is not. We're not doing the proper recruitment. And if we want to take Tottenham to that next level to win the trophies, we're going to need the proper recruitment in. And the one thing that's worrying me a lot is Steven Bergwijn. I don't know what you guys think, but I don't know what's happened to him. He came in, and I remember that Man City game that he played. He was unbelievable. He got that crazy goal, and we beat City in that game. But since then, he's done absolutely nothing. Genuinely, he's done absolutely nothing.
So, roughly about 4 or 5 months after we were told the Fernandes deal was too expensive, we went and splashed out 30-odd million on Bergwijn. Now, why not just put that money towards the Fernandes deal and get it done over the line? Now we're stuck with another average player who, for me, I just genuinely don't think he's going to cut at Tottenham. I really don't. No. I think he's going to be here for another couple of years. He might end up on a loan, but ultimately I think we're going to struggle to sell him. He just does not have that desire and that quality we need. But, like, why are we spending 30 million on him 6 months later? Why not just throw that money at the Fernandes deal and get it over the line? I'm talking about a total different season right now.
Yeah. Silly decisions.
It's so frustrating.
Chris, I'm going to have to shoot in a minute, mate.
Anthony, last question for you then. Brian writes here, I've actually named Lucas Moura the Brazilian Darren Huckabee. You remember him?
I'll speak to Hucks. I'll give him a little text, Huckers, mate. I'll say to him, I played with him in a celebrity game at Norwich. He's a lovely geezer. Top bloke. Top bloke.
Who's a better player, though, Antony?
Who, Huckabee or Moura?
Yeah.
Huckabee was all right, you know. I used to hate playing against it. Well, when Spurs played against him. Like Dean Oldsworth. I always tell, when I speak to Dean Oldsworth, I say, you always used to score against us. And he goes, yeah, because you boys were terrible. I was like, cheers. Thanks. You know, you had Colin Calderwood and Ramon Vega at centre halves. Cheers. Thanks. Nice one.
Antony,
lads,
are you all right?
Go on.
Are you all right for a few minutes? Because we're just going to talk about the Europa League tie and then the Arsenal game. Just want to get your score predictions on those.
Yeah. Go. Sorry.
Let me come to you first then. Of course, Dynamo Zagreb, we've only ever played them once in our history. That was back in 2008. We won 4-0. Darren Bent actually scored a hat-trick that night at White Hart Lane. They are top of the Croatian First League. They've played 23. They've won 17. They've drawn 3 and they've lost 3. They're top of their league. You know, how do you see this game going? Does Jose Mourinho go all out, put the best possible 11 out on Thursday, or does he save players for Sunday's game, North London derby? Another huge week for Tottenham.
Of course it is. I think he's going to go a little bit strong, a little bit squad in that game. I think he's going to try and get the win, try and get a nice, comfortable win, which I think we will. I think it's going to be a nice 2 or 3-0 win, and take it over to Zagreb the week after. And give everyone a rest, because hopefully by then we'll have our foot in the quarterfinals.
If you had to choose now, though, Antony, a win in either the Zagreb first leg or the North London derby.
North London derby, mate. North London derby. Forget it. The Zagreb, you got 2 legs to turn it around. Yeah. I ain't having them lot beating us. I can't. I'm not having matey boy from Real Madrid scoring his first goal against us. You mark my words, boys.
Odegaard?
I'm telling you now, he's score his first goal. Don't matter. He ain't played Spurs.
I know. He hasn't done anything for them.
No, but he'll turn up against us like Firmino does for Liverpool.
Oh, it'll be Willian. It'll be Willian. He's just getting into form. He's getting a couple of assists now. And you know what he's like. Yeah,
he loves it, doesn't he, against us? But coming to your question, we have to beat Arsenal. Have to.
Yeah.
Are you feeling confident going into this game, though, Antony? Particularly the form that we're in right now, and the way that Gareth Bale is coming into form, and Harry Kane banging goals. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm quietly confident. I'm not going to say we're going to smash them. I'm quietly confident. We all know form goes out the window, but I don't want us to go there and get rolled over. I don't want us to go, I don't want matey boy to score his first goal for Arsenal. I can't have it.
Yeah. Do you want to give me score predictions, Antony, for both Thursday and Sunday's game?
Thursday, I'm going 3-0 Spurs. And Sunday, I'm going for a tight 2-1 Spurs.
Well, that'll do.
I don't care. 3 points. I don't care how we win. Don't care who scores and when.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly right. Antony, thank you so much for coming on then. And
thank you, lads.
We'll speak to you soon.
See you soon, lads. Bye, mate.
See ya.
Thank you very much, Antony. David, let's come to you. Of course, Zagreb, you heard Antony say there that he thinks that Tottenham will win 3-0. What are your thoughts on Thursday's game in the Europa League?
Yeah, no, for me, look, first of all, I do think you'll see Aurier start. You'll see Ndombele start. So it'll be a mixture of a team that he's going to send out there. For me, look, you can afford to rest players. I genuinely think, we have enough to get by them over the 2 legs. I do think we're already in the pot for the quarters, if I'm honest. I think it's going to be an easy win, to be honest. I can see us winning 3-1 Thursday night. I really can. That's that job done. Arsenal also play away Thursday night against Olympiacos, and that's going to be a very tough game. They're going to run the legs out of them, and they're going to batter them with tackles. So they're going to come out of there bruised black and blue. And then we roll up, and we're going to black and blue them even more. You know what I mean? It's that simple, Chris. I've had the Ginger Mourinho from Burnley. I've had Scotty Starstruck from Fulham. I've had the Eagle from Palace. I want Gunnosaurus on that collection. I want Gunnosaurus on my collection. I'm not sure whether Ozil owns him or whether he's still on furlough. I'm not 100% sure, but I want Gunnosaurus on that collection. We're going to rock up there. We're going to take Gunnosaurus. We're going to take Arsenal. They're going to be very leggy come from their Europa League. Everyone can make what they want out of having to play our Europa League game before, but we're at home. All Harry Kane has to do is drive 5 minutes, play the game, go home and sleep, whatever. You know what I mean? These Arsenal players, they can't do that. So I'm very confident going into the North London Derby. I think they should be worried. I can see us winning big in the North London Derby. I wouldn't be surprised to see another 4-1 win on the belt. And you know me, Chris, I'm always confident. I told you before the Brighton, I've said it. Coming into the Brighton game, I think we were expecting a big week. I was right. And I think I'm going to be right again this week. We're going to smash Zagreb. We're going to smash Arsenal. Top 4 is on. I've always maintained we could get top 4. I've always maintained we're going to the Europa League final. Chris, we're already in the quarters. We're about, so I wouldn't even count the Zagreb games because we're through. So you're only, 4 games away. And we've the League Cup final. So, no, look, you know, people that wanted to put the pressure on and get their Jose out agenda, you know, going and get him out of the club. Well, it's very quiet now because it's starting to prove that he was the right man and that, look, there's only so much you can do when your best players are injured and you have frauds to work with.
You've got to hand it to Jose Mourinho, really, haven't you, David? I know, you know, like you say, there's a lot of people, you know, Jose in, Jose out, or sitting on the fence. You know, he's turned it around. You know, when I said, you know, earlier on, 5 defeats in 6 Premier League games, things look very bleak. But we've turned it around. You know, we've got 4 very good results in our last 4 games.
Yeah. No, look, it's massive praise. You know, so in that bad period, he was accused of not knowing his best 11. He was accused of not training the players on the training ground. You know, so not training on the training ground. He switched from a 4-3-3 to a 4-2-3-1. So what, you know, he's clearly training the players. We were also told he doesn't know his best 11. Clearly, he knows his best 11. We were told he's lost the dressing room. We've gone out and put 13 goals in the space of 4 games. So for me, you know, I don't think he's lost the dressing room. Now, in that time of adversity, you know, Daniel Levy's only a phone call away from getting Nagelsmann in the door, apparently. In that adversity, to come out the other end of it the way he has, to rotate the squad he has, which takes balls to do when your job is on the line, it's credit to the man. And it's why we hired him, is because it's that mentality. Many other managers in that situation will shy away. They'll play players even though they're not ready. It's too early for them to come back. Jose hasn't done that. Take your time, get back for the business end of the season. He's also got Gareth Bale going. He's got Alderweireld out there. They've played 3 games in a week, the 2 of them. You know, and like we know their bodies are aging. We know that it's a struggle for them to get through the 3 games, and they've done it. And they've done it in the name of Jose. So and the fact that he's brought Lucas Moura into play at number 10, even though Dele Alli's been playing well, he's still stuck with Lucas Moura. So you've 2 players. We've gone from having no one to play there to 2 players in form with confidence. So you know, this man was supposed to be a dinosaur, but he's not. You know, for me, I think he's top-notch manager. I do think we're going to be successful, and all the praise has to go to him. Yeah,
absolutely. Yeah. Josh, let's come to you. Roy Price. Roy, thank you very much for your point here. Remember, guys, Arsenal also playing away on Thursday. They'll be playing Olympiacos in Greece. We've got a great chance to turn them over. Now, really interesting one, this, Josh, because, of course, Tottenham were meant to play away first, but then the ties got switched because, you know, they couldn't play those games in their order. And then now, going into the North London Derby, they're playing away. We're playing at home. They'll probably be pretty annoyed by that.
Yeah, I genuinely think that's a bit stupid, to be honest, from UEFA. There's no fans, so why are you not playing 2 of the games on the same night? Although it does give us an advantage, you've got to also think in the perspective that Arsenal are going to have a chip on their shoulder now. They're going to go, oh, we've been hard done by, and they're going to want to put some goals past us. But that is a fact. They are going to be leggy. They've got to go to Greece. That's a long time. It's like 3.5-hour plane journey, and then they've got to come back. And then we're playing on the Sunday. That's much harder than us playing a home game. They're going to have to play their big guns, Arsenal. They're going to have to play their Aubameyangs, etc. Because this is a big game for them, and they've been chatting up the Europa League a lot. But for us, obviously, I don't really care what Arsenal do. I support Tottenham. Never underestimate anyone. This Zagreb game won't be easy. I've read a bit into them. I couldn't name a single Zagreb player, but what I know about the stereotypical Croatian league players are they're gonna batter and bruise us. They're gonna give us a hard day. They don't concede many goals. This Dynamo Zagreb. They're not a bad side. So I don't think it'll be too easy. I think although you could be positive and say, "Oh, we're going to whack them like all the teams that we have done in the Europa League," but Dynamo Zagreb are on a bit of another level. I don't think it's going to be a free pass for us. I think we're going to concede. I think they'll get an away goal, which is going to be frustrating, but I can see it happening. But if our boys play up front, and we will bag some goals if we play like we have been, but I think it'll be harder than playing against Crystal Palace, Fulham, and Burnley. But in terms of Arsenal as well, the Arsenal game on the weekend, you can't predict a North London derby. You can literally know. I think that'll be probably a nasty game because we've both played Europa League games. So there's going to be tired players. There's going to be tired bodies on that pitch. There's probably going to be some injuries as well coming because I know a lot of players are getting injured. And I was going to mention earlier when you talked about recruitment, what happens if someone like Højbjerg gets injured? Who comes in?
That's exactly why
we haven't got anyone.
I did when David asked me about the formation, about the Manchester City game, because it all depends on injuries, leading up to these very important games, Josh. And you're absolutely right. At the back end of this season, we know we need to grind results out, get results any way we can, and get those points on the board and go through to the next round of the Europa League. But we've got to keep all of our key players fit, and that's why I can see, when people said yesterday, why is Harry Winks playing? You can't play on Bale every game. You can't play Gareth Bale every game. As much as all of us fans want to see the superstars in the starting 11 every game, it just can't happen.
I totally agree.
Very important.
I completely agree, honestly. The boys, some of them need to be rested. Like, I'm worried because Højbjerg, especially, he's so important to our side. He's the anchor in the midfield. If we lose him, we're going to be in trouble. Like, I want to see him rested. I did read something.
He won't play Thursday.
Yeah, don't play him on Thursday. So important, Højbjerg. But a lot of people, I've been speaking to some of my Spurs friends and stuff, and they're all going, "Oh, let's watch out for Chelsea. Let's watch out for West Ham." I tell you what, my advice to all the Tottenham fans out there would be, don't look at the other teams. Let them do their thing. We've got to win every game that we can now until the end of the season. Yeah. You can sit there and watch these West Ham games. You can sit there and watch the Everton games and the Chelsea games and all the teams above us and around us in the top 4 race. Don't even get involved. Watch the Tottenham games. Back us. Let's win every game. Let's get as many points as we can on the table. We've got our a great attacking talent. We've got our strong defensive lineup that's happening at the moment. Let's keep positive. Let's keep this positive vibe going around Tottenham. It's so good. There's no negativity around the club at the moment. Like we were talking a couple of weeks ago, it was terrible. We'd lost so many on the bounce. And I don't know if you were watching Sky Sports on the other day for that game where we won against Crystal Palace. But Graham Souness talking about Gareth Bale after the game.
Yeah.
Bringing out every single negative comment he could possibly pick out the hat about Gareth Bale, saying stuff like, "Oh, why has he not done it before? Why has he been sitting on the bench? Why has he not been playing?" Sorry, opposition fan who clearly doesn't like us because we're above Liverpool. Gareth Bale has been playing amazing, so that's positive. We've got to keep the positivity around the club. Let's not let anyone infect us with negativity.
What I was so disappointed about that, though, Josh, is the fact that Graham Souness, a former Premier League manager, a former star of Liverpool, talking about a professional footballer in the manner that he did, talking about injuries, talking about him not, his lack of interest, etc. When Gareth Bale just had a game like he did against Crystal Palace, and then, of course, the last few games that he's had as well, coming into form, I find that the media quite often criticise Tottenham when we're doing well, and they just want to, slap us back down again. And I found that very, very frustrating watching that. David, how do you think about that?
No, look, I expect nothing more from Sky Sports, to be honest with you, Chris. You see, time and time again, like I always say, the only people that actually love Tottenham are Spurs fans.
Exactly.
Everybody else, no matter where you go across the world, they hate Tottenham. They just hate Tottenham. It's the club they love to hate. And I relish it. That's why I love this club so much, especially when we're winning. I love it so much because, they hate you, you can just give it to them. But I expect nothing more from Sky Sports. The reason why they're doing this right now, me personally, my personal opinion, is that, they don't want Jose, the manager, because they'd rather have Jose back in the Sky Sports studio because they need a manager in there. to give everything from a manager's perspective. They're probably losing views left, right, and centre, Chris.
Yeah.
Because there's no Josie there, and then they see the likes of me on the internet doing watch-alongs, giving scout reports and the whole shebang. You know what I mean? They'd rather come and watch me than Graham Souness talk shit about Tottenham ultimately. And and honestly, I do think that has a lot to do with it as well. Like, a lot of people are going on watching YouTubers do watch-alongs now rather than watching things on Sky, because it's so unbelievably biased.
Yeah.
And, you know, as we all know, everything's about views. And of course, when you have Jaws in the studio, everyone wants to listen to what Jaws is going to say. So your views skyrocket, which means your subscriptions skyrocket. You probably lost a load since Mourinho has left and he's become the manager of the greatest club on the planet.
Totally agree. Totally.
Dave, when you said you feel like everyone hates Tottenham, you feel like that, you know, from the opposing fans as well? Because whenever I go to different Premier League grounds, I never really get that feeling by, you know, a lot of the opposition fans. Of course, West Ham, Chelsea, Arsenal, the rival clubs. But, you know, when I go up north and, you know, around the country, I never really feel like that from other teams.
Really?
Yeah, no, look, if it was back in the 90s when all the violence was going on, people would definitely be feeling it. But football has changed. But trust me, everyone loves to laugh at Tottenham. Everyone loves when things go wrong at Tottenham. Everyone always jokes about us not winning things. Everybody hates Tottenham, from my experience anyway. Just everybody hates Tottenham. That's just my experience. It's the club everybody loves to hate. The club everybody loves to laugh at. But one thing I will thank Arsenal for is they have probably overtook us and took that title off us, which is brilliant. You know what I mean? Another thing about Arsenal, let's warm up for this London derby first of all. Another thing about Arsenal, okay? So Palace have the oldest squad in the Premier League. I call them the Premier League burial ground. But what Arsenal done in the summer is sign Willian and everything else to try and take that title from them. Yeah. Because they know it's the only mark they're going to leave on the Premier League this season. Yeah. And they couldn't even do that right. You know what I mean? And, like, we have a chance to ruin their season. Olympiacos are going to do it in the Europa League for us. We smack them in the league. They're bottom half of the table finish. It's that simple. So we have a massive chance to ruin their season. But, you know, we're dealing with a club that couldn't even take the title of having the oldest club in the Premier League, and they went and signed Willian and all to try and get it. You know, they're a laughing stock. So I thank them for taking that title away from us.
That is funny. That's brilliant. But what I was going to say, just in reply to what you're saying about other clubs hating us, I do feel like pretty much everyone hates us. Don't know why. I have an idea why. I know for a fact, like, there's a lot of clubs that abuse us, like you said, the rivals. You expect that. Every club has their rivals. Like, you've got Palace and Brighton, you've got Tottenham and Arsenal, you've got Liverpool and Everton. But, like, we've been abused at Wolves. I've gone up to Wolves and got abused. Outside the Etihad, there's been proper anti-Semitic abuse. Proper bad anti-Semitic abuse, which isn't very nice at all. It's unacceptable.
I wouldn't say it's at every club though, Josh. You get
no.
bits and bobs that,
Southampton,
grounds, but I wouldn't say it's everywhere.
No, not everywhere, but like somewhere like Southampton, there's been abuse. There's been some quite bad stuff outside Southampton, but there are some clubs which are nice. I've never had problems at Palace, and others, but there are a lot of clubs that really dislike us, and I don't know why, apart from the obvious, but it's a strange one. It's a strange one, but you're right. About Arsenal, I think the introduction of Arsenal Fan TV has just made them an absolute laughing stock. Genuinely, it's just hilarious.
Let's just go to Paul's point on screen here about Graham Souness. Could have been a great player if he'd stayed at Spurs after getting a Youth Cup winners medal in 1970, and he knows it. David, do you remember? Or have you heard about Graham Souness being a youth player at Tottenham and then he was released?
I was going to say, if you were talking about me watching, I was like, Chris, I definitely don't have wrinkles. I'm not that old yet. No, look, I've heard all about Graham Souness. I know that he came through Tottenham ranks. Look, you know, he probably does look at it in hindsight. You know, look back at it, maybe look at Tottenham with a bit of sourness, a bit of bitterness, because you can see it in his face when he talks about Tottenham. You know, he talks about Tottenham with disdain. So,
no, in a previous interview, though, he's always said that he's very favourable for Tottenham because he spent time there. He said that before. Yeah,
no, look, you can say things to certain people to suit an agenda. Do you know what I mean? Like, it was probably a Tottenham journalist that asked him, so he just wanted to be nice, you know, because he was probably having one of his good days, you know. But the fact is, he showed his colours. Liverpool got slapped. We went out and slapped Palace, and he couldn't handle it.
Exactly. He was upset. He was completely. I think he just couldn't deal with it because Liverpool, his beautiful Liverpool, have just lost 6 on the bounce against other teams at Anfield, and he couldn't really deal with it, and it showed. But it's not just him. It's people like Roy Keane as well. Were really slagging us off the other week, saying, "Oh, the only good player at Tottenham."
I love Roy.
Yeah, I know. He's good in the studio, but he was slagging us off. He was slagging us off, saying the only good players at Tottenham are Harry Kane and Son. And I was like, well, that's not right. You're missing out quite a few there, Roy, being a bit derogatory. But they do love to. They love to mug us off.
Says that because he's so used to playing, because he's so used to playing with world class talent. When he's talking about good players, he's talking about the elite players.
Yeah. Yeah, I get that.
David, we've got one of your fans here. Gary says he'd much rather watch you lot and Arsenal Fan TV when they lose its comedy gold. Keane and Souness crap. Well, you know, he's agreed with your point. He'd rather watch your watch-alongs rather than watch Sky Sports pundits.
I'm telling you, Chris, the game is changing. You know, Sky Sports and all that, they've had it sewn up for years. But people can see the agenda. People can see the bias. Look, they can sit there with the fancy tablets doing all the with a little pen, doing all these little drawings and formations. But ultimately, I would rather go and listen to someone that you know, as soon as they get out of bed in the morning, latest Spurs news before they go to bed at night, making sure they haven't missed Spurs news and what goes on about the club. When I'm sitting here, like, and I'm on the build up to a Spurs game, I want to listen to someone that's talking about Spurs, know what's going on about the club on a daily basis. Someone that's whole focus on Spurs, not 15 minutes on Sky Sports. And then they talk about the great United or Liverpool and give them half an hour when they're not even playing. Do you know what I mean? No one wants to see that. The game is changing. I'm telling you, people would rather watch the watch-alongs on YouTube. The amount of people that say, you know what, can you tell us what time the match you're on watching? Because they'd rather sync up with you than listen to Sky Sports punditry. You know, times are changing. Sky Sports is old, and if they don't change with the game, well then I'm taking over.
What about Chris? Chris can take over too.
I tell you, Josh, all of this feels very weird to me. Even now, you know, a year since we've been in the stadiums properly.
Yeah.
You know, we're doing all these chats over Zoom and StreamYard, etc. You know, talking to all you guys, but it does still feel very weird to me not going to the stadiums. How are you feeling about going back when we're you know, obviously we're going to go back next season, but how are you feeling about going back? Because have you got used to watching it on TV now?
Well, obviously it's strange because after going to the games for so long, I'd never liked watching it on the TV. I think if you're a season ticket holder or you go to the games very often, you don't. It's not different. It's just not right watching it on the TV. It's not as nice. It's not the same, especially with no fans. That's what kills it for me. But I can't wait. Honestly, Chris, I think. They said the other day that it was been a year since the Norwich game in the FA Cup where we lost on penalties and got knocked out. And that year's. It feels like it's almost gone slowly. It feels like it's weird. That feels like a long time ago. But I'm so excited, honestly, to get back in there. It's going to be great atmosphere as well because everyone's been so like deprived of going to watch football. I think every stadium across the country, maybe even Arsenal, maybe even the library of the Emirates might actually have a bit of noise in it. I
doubt it.
Yeah, but hopefully all the Spurs fans are going to turn up en masse when we're allowed in, when all these restrictions have ended finally. Hopefully it's next season because otherwise that would just be a bit ridiculous. But missed it so much. It's been way too long for all of us. It's been horrible, to be honest. And I think it's going to impact the players as well. Imagine seeing Gareth Bale score all these goals. He's going to be celebrating into the crowd with thousands of Spurs fans. It's going to be amazing, honestly. But as you say, let me just go back to this point. It was popping through my mind as you were talking about Sky Sports. I think the kind of rights for the Premier League are actually up for sale next season. And I think Amazon are going to go in hard for it because Sky Sports it's a has-been. It's not as good as it was anymore. I remember watching Spurs games in the past, like 5-6 years ago, and you'd watch them analyse us. We're under Poch at Old White Hart Lane. You'd watch it and you'd be really excited. I remember sitting there with my granddad watching all these pundits talk about Spurs, and they were usually quite positive. But now it's gone in the totally other direction. It's awful to watch, apart from Gary Neville maybe and Jamie Carragher. They're quite funny, quite fun to watch. But I tell you what made a big difference in this game, in this Tottenham Crystal Palace game, was Chris Coleman as a co-commentator instead of having to listen to Alan Smith. It was really, really positive, and I really actually enjoyed listening to what he was saying. He was completely unbiased. I know he's Welsh manager, and he loves Gareth, and he loves the Welsh players. But it was really nice to listen to Chris Coleman talk about both teams, completely unbiased, compared to someone like Alan Smith, who's an Arsenal legend or played for Arsenal, and he's usually quite negative about us, and he's on always seems to be on Tottenham games, which is quite frustrating. But Paul is obviously right. Missed those panels so much, but for the meantime, you've got a couple here.
Can you believe, Josh, how many people are still going about the panels?
Well, that's why you're legendary, Chris. I remember those videos. That was amazing.
Going back to the stadium, when Harry Kane scored that third goal for Tottenham last night against Crystal Palace, it's those moments where I just think it's such a shame that the fans aren't there, because that stadium would have gone absolutely mental, wouldn't it, David, from that goal?
Oh, it would have absolutely erupted. There's no better place you want to be than behind the goal after Gareth Bale scores a goal and watching Tottenham, because it absolutely erupts. You're jumping around with strangers you've never met before. Yeah. You're hugging, you're dancing. The joy it brings, honestly, full-grown men acting like children. That's what that would be. And there's no better feeling in the world. The place would have erupted, especially in that new stadium. Imagine that wall cheering when Gareth Bale bangs one in, then noise it's going to generate. It's going to be unbelievable.
It's going to be amazing.
I never forget one of the, I think it was the last season at White Hart Lane, the North London derby, and we got moved because of, various reasons. We got moved. And when we scored the goal, I went absolutely mental, hugged the guy in front of me. Obviously, I didn't know him. And he was saying, calm down. He was a very posh guy. He was like, calm down, calm down. I thought, what? Calm? How on earth can you be calm when you're scoring in the North London derby? It was a fantastic moment. It really was. But someone was very, very calm in front of me. David, Josh, talk me through your score predictions and how you think Tottenham will set up against Dynamo Zagreb and Arsenal. David, let's start with you.
Yeah, go on.
Look, against Dynamo Zagreb, I think it's going to be a 4-2-3-1. I do think you see Aria right back, Ben Davies left back, Dyer at centre back. I think you might see Sanchez play again. If not, I'm hoping Tanganga will be in there beside him. Midfield, Ndombele. Maybe I think Ndombele, Sissoko, and I think Dele Alli. And then obviously my wingers, I'd probably put Lamela one side. Who the other side? Who would I put the other side? I don't know who I'd put the other side. And Bergwijn the other side, and then Vinicius up top. I'm going to go 3-0. I'm going to go 3-1 against Zagreb. And then for Arsenal, of course, you bring the big boys back. You bring Kane, Son, Højbjerg, the whole lot, Alderweireld, all back in. We go and spank them. And I'm going to go 4-1 against Arsenal. I do think we're going to smack them. I think their Europa League game away, especially against the team it's against, I think is going to have a big impact on that North London derby.
Josh, let's come to you. Gary writes another question. Thank you very much, Gary. Agree with Josh. Pundit's so biased for me. The only one who is true neutral is Alex Scott. Yes, she's Arsenal mostly, but she knows her stuff. I've got to completely agree with that. I think that she's one of the best pundits around.
Yeah. I remember when she first started doing it. And she's improved a lot, and I enjoy listening to Alex Scott. She's actually it's not the best thing about a pundit is if they're not biased. All you want to do is listen to someone who hasn't got bigoted opinions about every single club. I think someone like a Chris Coleman or someone like an Alex Scott, it's a pleasure to listen to them because they're calm, they're composed, they know their stuff, they know their football, they're in the game. And it's great to listen to. But in terms of predictions, I think there'll be a highly changed side on Thursday against Zagreb. I think there'll be lots of players rested. Hopefully, as I said earlier, Højbjerg. I don't think you'll see Joe Hart play. I think it's too much of an important game to drop Lloris. And obviously, he hasn't really set foot wrong since making some terrible mistakes when there was a lot of negativity around the club. Back four, I think Reguilon might even come out. He might play Davis because Reggie needs to be fit for that North London derby, or they'll just switch at half time because I think there's 5 subs in the Europa League. And then I think there'll just be a lot of changes. I could probably even see Dyer going in there, which is worrying me a bit. But I'd like to see Aurier get some minutes. I think he's been deprived of minutes of late. I don't know if he's obviously he got injured and then came back and now he hasn't played. So he needs to be in that North London derby, I think. But there's going to be a lot of changes for that game. But hopefully we can get result. Prediction. I think it'll be tight, you know. I think Zagreb will push us. It's that kind of game. I think it will be 2-1 Spurs. I think we'll get over the line. It'll be 2-1 to us. In terms of the Arsenal game, Son's going to probably get dropped and have a rest. But in terms of the Arsenal game, everyone's got to start. Full team, lots of positivity. Let's go out there. Sky's the limit. Any amount of goals. Obviously, we struggle against Arsenal. I think at the library. But I think the last game we won there, it was in the Carabao Cup, was it? It was. Dele Alli chip. I was there as my first game at the Emirates, and we actually won. It was amazing. What
a night that was!
Yeah, what a night! Honestly, that was an incredible game. But hopefully, we can get a result there. I think the way that there's positivity around the club, regardless of the result on Thursday, I think we can get a result at Arsenal if we play the way we've been doing, the way we've been playing. I've got a question for you. Just a little question for you. Nice one. Bit of nostalgia. What was your best moment at the new stadium? Best goal that you've ever seen? Best celebration at the new stadium since it was built and the lads started against Crystal Palace?
First one, Heung-min Son.
Yeah, that was special.
One. Yeah, it was really special. And I'll tell you what, Josh, for me, when the Tottenham under-18s played Southampton under-18s and we won 3-1, you know, just to see a ball being kicked. And I know lots of people might think that I was sad, you know, doing all these stadium updates, but, you know, walking around that stadium for so long, seeing literally every brick and piece going in, you know, to then see an actual ball being kicked on the pitch was absolutely incredible. So, but the best goal in a Tottenham competitive game was probably the first one, Heung-min Son, and you know, Sonny just keeps breaking every single record, and he loves playing and scoring at the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium, which is you know, absolutely awesome to see, and that's why I want to see these players, particularly Heung-min Son and Harry Kane. They have to be lifting trophies. I know that's a whole new debate, and we could talk for hours. You know, I can't believe we've been talking now for an hour and 37. You know, and we could just talk all night long about trophies, etc. But you know, they need trophies, and let's hope that you know, Tottenham do lift a trophy this season. David, Josh, do you want to add anything else before we go?
Oh, ask David. What was your favourite? What was your favourite moment?
I haven't actually had the privilege of getting to the new stadium whatsoever. But yeah, no, look, my favourite moment, I have to say, was the first goal that we scored in it. To be honest, it was always going to be a special occasion, and that it was. You know, but look, you know, the stadium put Chris into Tottenham folklore.
Yeah.
You know, he made Tottenham history when he was coming out with all the stadium updates.
Brilliant.
So fair play to you, Chris. You were the go-to guy when anyone wanted to know anything on the stadium. So fair play.
Yeah, thanks, Chris. That was amazing.
Yeah, thank you very much. It's funny because YouTube for me started completely by accident, and you know, I just suddenly picked my phone out of my pocket, filmed it, put it up onto YouTube, and then, funny enough, I was meeting someone down there because I collect a lot of Tottenham memorabilia. A lot of people call it rubbish, but you know, a lot of memorabilia from the stadium that I picked up. And then, you know, got my phone out again, put it up again, and then, you know, people started saying, looking forward to next week. So I'm thinking, there is no next week. This isn't a regular thing. But then somehow it turned into a regular thing. So, you know, and that's how we're where we are now. So, you know, I'm now talking to you great people, you know, on a weekly basis, which is fantastic. David, Josh, I can't thank you enough. Thank you very much for your time tonight. As I say, we can talk Tottenham Hotspur all night long. But we'll leave it there, and hopefully both of you will come on, you know, back on the channel very soon. Thank you very much. Let's hope that Tottenham can. Actually, there's a question just come in. Where will Giovanni Lo Celso play? Do one of you want to take that quickly?
Yeah, on the bench, because you know, he hasn't done anything to start in the starting 11. In my opinion, look, I think the guy he can go as far as he wants in the game. He's a lot of talent. He's very technical, but he needs to concentrate getting on the pitch.
David, more of your fans coming in. Will Stewart, David, big up Chris. Don't you know me yet?
No, I know Will. I know Will well. big up. No, honestly, the support I've been getting on the channel when I come over here, Chris, it's been amazing. So just to say, everyone that's a part of the Chris Cowlin army, thank you so much for the support and the hospitality. You know, I really appreciate it.
Yeah, and tell people where they can subscribe to your channel, David. You might as well plug that while you're here.
Yes, why not? Let's go whole hog. Yeah, it's the Irish Hotspur on YouTube. And, you know, you can also hit me up at the Irish Y on Twitter.
Brilliant.
Brilliant.
John, David, thank you very much. I'll see you soon, and come on, you Spurs.
Come on, you Spurs.
Come on, you Spurs.